And here we are on Cadaria, ladies and gentlemen, and down to the 6 o'clock position, or rather down to the bottom right-hand corner, I should say, is our Red Zerg player and 10-time reigning champion of IPL Fight Club, TSL HyuN. And his opponent here in the upper right-hand corner, from, well, formerly of Slayers. Oh, man. Oh. It's our yellow Protoss player, Brown.
Does Brown always have to choose brown as color? I mean, that would be appropriate, right? Or is that just...
There's no brown anymore in 1v1. So you can, I think you can still get the color if you play like 8 or 12 player UMS games.
Or I can make a custom map that has it as an option, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so very large map, obviously. And I suppose we'll see HyuN do the HyuN build, as we've so affectionately called it. I was actually talking to Scarlet a little bit about this earlier. HyuN's builds are always so safe against almost everything. His tech is always a little bit delayed because of that, and for that reason, I guess players don't really like it. You know, we saw at GSL Finals how Life was going for a bit, faster tech build, riskier builds, and he paid for it in a lot of the games. Blue Flame Hellion roasted his mineral lines. That doesn't happen to HyuN. HyuN always plays super safe.
And as soon as you mention safe,
he does a 15 hatch.
He does a 15 hatch against a Protoss player who has gone Forge first.
Yes, so, I mean, he's going to be okay, obviously. He's not going to have a whole lot of pressure, but Whirlwind's a pretty, Cadaria is a pretty safe map to do fast expansions on, usually not a whole lot of progression.
That's right, but we'll see if we get any shenanigans at the beginning of this game, because Brown sees what's going on. A drone is already poking out to scout, but Brown has the potential to drop down some pylons. Looks like he's not going to worry about that. He is already setting out.
Nexus, it was interesting. I think, who was it a few weeks ago? It was someone was constantly doing cannons against HyuN. I don't remember which match that was.
Who was that? Was it
Crank?
I don't think he did too many of them. Was it Titan by any chance?
It was Titan. Yeah. Yes, it was Titan. Titan did, I think, cannons 2 or 3 games. It actually worked one of the games, but yeah, nothing like that for Brown. Goes to his gateway, gets his gas going right now. I'd expect a second gas coming pretty soon. Pretty good block on the third, though. Yeah,
a little annoying probe here. With 2 drones, this will actually get put down pretty quickly. Nice job, though, as Brown gets out of there, and HyuN will put up his 3rd hatchery, no problems at all. So let's take a look here back on Brown's side, as we're getting to the point where his build is going to start revealing something. Decides to go for a little bit later second gas. We've seen this out of a few Protoss players recently, and then some players will take a little bit quicker 3rd and 4th to compensate for that if they're still planning on Stargate or upper tech.
Yeah, usually Stargate would indicate a quick second gas, but you still can do it on late gas. It just kind of depends, how late you want your Void Rays to pop out and how safe you want to be against any kind of aggression. Usually you'll opt for more minerals if you want to get more cannons up or another gateway up or more gateway heavy builds.
Okay, well, Cybernetics Core dropping down. This Overlord has a perfect read on everything that's going on, and will more than likely move up to the top and check on gas here in a bit, as once the Cybernetics Core is done, of course, this Overlord will have the potential to come under fire from either sentries or stalkers.
Ooh, so that's a fast +1. So this looks like it could be some early Zealots, or it could just be a gateway heavy build. But I always love +1 in PvZ. That lets you be a lot more economical with your Zealots, and for Blink Stalker pushes, it really helps you burst down the roaches as well.
All right, well, there's a couple of cool things, though, is that Brown, of course, went for a later second gas. He decided to go +1 weapons really quickly, and he hasn't put down a very early 3rd and 4th gas. There's a potential we're going to see a lot of gateways as a follow-up. Now, he still has 100 gas, and it could be very easy for him to put down a robotics facility, because any subsequent Immortals that come up after that only require 100 gas. So it's not like it's that expensive of an investment. But, and there it is, robotics facility. So we may be looking at a 3 Immortal push or a big gateway push.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if this is going to be, the early robo for parting style, spam observers, or if this is going to be for some kind of like a 2 base Colossus timing push, or if he's just doing this thing, kind of be safe against everything. Meanwhile, HyuN's been droning up like crazy while this is going on. Just now got 2 gases up. And it looks like he has 2 bases almost completely saturated already, with 9 drones popping out at a time.
I think we would be remiss, though, if we didn't talk about over the weekend. It was the weekend of Zerg, as Life did defeat MVP 4-3 in the GSL Codex Finals. Yes, exactly. Inertio Bly in the DreamHack Bucharest Finals. So was a very good weekend for Acer. It was a very good weekend for Startail as well, as they have their first GSL champion.
People always make fun of Team Zerg, Acer, but when you finish #1 and #2 in a major tournament,
There you go.
And how about Bly? I'd give him a round of applause because that's actually, I think, his best international finish in StarCraft 2.
Terrans were obliterated, though. I just want to throw that out there. All right, so 3 more gateways coming down, 4 gates, first Immortal on the way, and that 3 Immortal push is always so powerful. We already see that Brown is cutting probes at exactly 44.
Yeah, this is a standard, what looks to be about a 6-gate push is usually what'll happen. You can expand off this, but I would imagine probably not since he's not making any probes at all. And I don't really think this is going to affect HyuN too much. He is already about to be at Lair Tech, and he has a pretty good read on what's going on. He did see the robo when it got put down.
He's working off of, let's see here, 4 gas. He's a player who tends in a PvZ to make sure that his gas is being mined at his extra bases as expansions. And look at this. Second Immortal finished, 3rd on the way.
And he has the 6 gateways, 7 gateways actually, going to be in total. The timing's a little bit off, so I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with this because obviously those 3 finished way ahead of the other 3. No Warp Prism out yet either, no forward pylons on the map. A lot of sentries though, so this could be a very dangerous push. But for my taste, it's coming a little late because obviously HyuN's moving across the map, but as soon as he sees that many gateway units, he's going to have to hightail out of there because he's not going to be able to break that wall.
And Brown, of course, following this up with a Warp Prism. That's going to be his forward pylon of choice, essentially. He does have one that he can warp outside of his base into his 3rd and cut off this distance quite a bit, actually, as they have spawned pretty close positions to each other.
Yeah, HyuN's going to have to be really careful because even though he's in pretty good position, that's a lot of force field. Oh, but Brown found himself a little bit out of position. Not very good force fields there.
Yeah, a lot of Zerglings still continuing to stream in, and they are actually engaging directly on the sentries and Immortals. 1 Immortal has fallen, the 2nd is going to go down here potentially. No, actually, Brown has done a nice job of pulling his units back. There the 2nd Immortal does finally fall. He's getting this Warp Prism into position so he can pick up those valuable units.
Sentries. Yeah, the 4 sentries got saved, and he'll be able to force field off this ramp and at least stay safe. HyuN is actually following us with a ton more roaches, though, so it looks like he's actually going to try to go for the kill here.
That's not a bad idea, because all he needs to do is deny the 3rd, take another base, and he can tech up if he wants to, as we see a 2nd macro hatch actually put down at the moment that I say he needs a little more production.
Yeah, there's 5 hatches on 3 base. Oh, actually going for 6 hatches. That's very, very aggressive macroing, and he looks to be in a commanding position, up almost 50 supply, and has Brown locked on 2 base.
Okay, so Brown now just working off of those 7 gates, not moving up in tech, doesn't have the force to move out and take a 3rd base either, especially if Protoss players will work out and start to wall this off right away. They usually have a chance at holding it, but at this stage of the game...
in HyuN's base. Oh, he went for the... Oh, he actually did get the block off, but he doesn't have enough in the base, and that's failed.
Yeah, kills Queen, but that's it. Loses 3 sentries. And gets away with the Warp Prism, but just barely. It's actually being chased down by Queens now.
I really don't like what Brown's doing right now. He hasn't even built a Twilight Council, and you can see the amount of minerals he has. It really wouldn't be that much of an expense. You need +2 because as he's just sitting here, HyuN is going to be getting additional upgrades and additional bases, and if you're not advancing your tech, there he is. He is building a Nexus. Okay, so let's say he has to do something. He either has to tech up. He can't just keep making units on inferior economy.
HyuN's kind of in kill mode, though, and... it looks like with drops just about to finish up, he's just going to press here at the front. And like I mentioned before, he's just finishing up those other hatcheries. That's all he needs to do. I don't want to sound doom and gloom for Brown right now, but he's in a tough spot. He's got to try and expand out of this. And he gets contaminated.
Yeah, that's deadly for the Immortals, especially because he only has 1 robo. Now he is getting a Twilight, finally realizes he needs +2. That Nexus has been denied, and HyuN, you know, he's timed this out pretty well. He's just going to go up there, keep denying the 3rd, keep getting more and more ahead. He's about to be maxed to the point where he can just kind of start throwing units and replenishing his army too fast for Brown to do anything about. Brown is down now 80 supply, while HyuN is at 199 to 199.
All right, and here comes the fleet of Overlords.
Yikes.
And there's nothing in position to stop these. Of course, Brown has to keep everything outside of his 3rd because if there was a frontal attack
there... ugly.
All right, warping over at Brown's next base, but there are already units sitting there to delay, and that's all he needs to do.
Oh, man.
While HyuN drops in, trying for the kill right here. The units are just streaming in 1 at a time, but HyuN has already dropped everything down. He's killed a gateway. He's about to finish off the Nexus. The last couple of gateways even being eliminated.
Yeah, this is so scary to look at as a Protoss player when all those roaches in the base, and he's going to have more units come streaming up the front at this point. Pretty good force field to hold it off, but even if he manages to hold this, He's lost his entire main base. Yeah, there it is. GG.
All right, game number 1 going to our reigning champion, TSL HyuN. Of course, since he has won the last 10 weeks in a row, he has a $1,000 bounty on his head, and that's pretty impressive.
I am